All right, welcome, guys. We are starting our new unit, and it's going to be on respiratory system. As far as respiratory system concerned, obviously it's all about breathing, but it's not just, well, we need to breathe to survive. It's more than that. It's also understanding how we breathe and why we need to breathe. Some of the goals for this unit: understanding the roles of the respiratory system. That's stuff that we're going to talk about in this video. And this video is honestly a really short one. It's just more introductory than anything else. Comprehend the anatomy and physiology of the respiratory system. Sorry, guys. Learn how to calculate respiratory volume. I know you might be thinking math, not crazy about that, but it's very minimal level math, nothing crazy in regards to like calculus or anything like that. It's basic algebra. And then finally, review diseases of the respiratory system. That's going to be primarily asthma and lung cancer. And we'll also talk a little bit about COVID-19 as well, since it's obviously a major respiratory condition that's affecting people currently. So what are the functions of the respiratory system? So first off, overseeing gas exchange, both with oxygen and carbon dioxide. Let me see. Yeah, I get cut off a little bit there, but it's okay. So you're making sure that oxygen and carbon dioxide moves in both directions when it needs to. We breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide. It's this balance that we have between us and the plants that we coexist with, right? Plants utilize carbon dioxide and they emit oxygen. Now, the site of gas exchange in the body, more specifically, is going to be in the lungs. And more in the lungs, it's going to be this structure called the alveoli. We're going to learn much more about that in the coming videos. The passageways to the lungs, so that includes your nose, that includes your pharynx, your larynx, etc. It helps to purify, warm, and humidify the air. You know, purifying it to the best that it can. There's still going to be pollutants that will enter your lungs that can cause damage. Warming the air ever so slightly, but if you've ever run or done physical exercises or physical activity when it's really cold outside, you'll feel like a almost like knives stabbing your chest. Pretty painful, but that's normal. That's common if the temperatures are so low. And it also helps to humidify the air, which can help with thermoregulation. Finally, it does share responsibility with the cardiovascular system. It makes sense. The heart is literally in between the lungs, so because of its position, both systems are going to have a shared common goal, which we'll talk more about in cardiovascular system. How does breathing work? There's a video I'm going to share in this YouTube link or in this YouTube video in the description. Again, I like sharing these videos every once in a while because I think they're great. This one just does an amazing job of going through the step-by-step process of breathing, which we're going to learn about in this unit or in this video series. But it also does an amazing job of describing that even though we mostly breathe on autopilot, like we just do it without thinking, conscious breathing actually goes a long way to helping calm the mind. So I think that's a great thing to learn and help to deal and manage stress. Finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about, again, early video, right, are the structures that make up the respiratory system. We start us off with the nose. As far as the nose is concerned, that's going to be the nasal cavity. I know that we can breathe through our mouths just like we can breathe through our nose, right? The thing is, you only really breathe through your mouth unless you're congested or you're exhausted and you're really tired and you're going to be gasping for air. And that makes sense because your mouth is a much larger hole than your nose is. But on normal occasions, we're going to be breathing through our nose. And the primary reason for that is that it's going to help filter the air. We're going to learn about that in the future. The pharynx is going to be the throat. There's a couple parts of the throat that we need to discuss. The larynx is going to be called the voice box. You can physically feel it vibrating when you're talking, humming, or making sound. The trachea is going to be the windpipe. You can feel it towards the base of your neck, making its way down. Then at the base of the trachea, we have what's called the bronchi. They basically look like a tree, upside-down tree, and there's a slide that comes up that shows this really well. And then you have the lungs, and inside the lungs, the alveoli. There are some other structures here we're going to talk about, like the diaphragm, for instance, a very large muscle that's horizontal. But we'll get to that as we continue. All right. So all in all, the whole point of this was just to kind of get us early started. As we continue, we're going to get more in depth and learn more about the respiratory system. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.